listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Power of Love radio show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Power of Love, sponsored by the D.D. Jackson Foundation. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. I am TJ Jackson, and I'm here with my two brothers, Terrell Jackson.
What's up, everyone?
And Taj Jackson.
Hello.
Taj Jackson. How you guys doing?
What's going on?
Doing well.
Yeah? Everything all right?
Yeah.
How was your weeks? We're going to get right into it. How are the weeks?
Baseball update?
No.
Still losing.
Still losing?
We have a game today against I want to say the last place team, but we're the last place team, so I can't.
You only have one direction to go, though.
We should win.
You can only go up.
I learned that there's two directions now. You can either go up or you can stay exactly where you are. We've been staying where we are. But we should win.
Okay.
Should win. I can't give them any more speeches. I'm
You're
out.
out of it. You tapped out.
I can't tell them anything.
You've hit all the inspirational speeches you can.
Yes. I mean, I reached back into my little private box of speeches. I have nothing else. I'm just going to say, guys, go out there and have fun.
Besides baseball, Terrell, how was your week?
Music's good. I'm doing music.
There's only
baseball
two.
music. That's all I got, man.
No movies,
sports?
nothing?
No, I don't do movies. It takes too long.
TV
sports,
shows?
I love the playoffs right now. I don't watch much TV anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. Me
I watch
too.
maybe one or two shows. I can't do the. I'll catch what is that? Prison Break once in a while, but I don't want to watch it out of sequence. I can't. There's too many good shows out there, and I can't get into one of them. I actually don't want to start one because I don't want to start liking it, and then you got to get suckered into not suckered, but then you're stuck having to watch all of it. So I just stay with my sports.
Sports, Taj. I know you're not staying with sports. What are you up to?
Basically TV shows. Been watching some TV shows and seen that many movies recently.
What's the big TV show?
I watch a lot of CW.
Yeah, what's up with that, Taj?
It's superhero stuff, man. Like Flash, Supergirl.
Are they still new episodes?
Yeah, they just started again. Pretty Little Liars.
Watch all that.
It's funny though because as he's saying this, you see a glow and a smile on his face.
I'm like the demographic I think of, like young teenage girls.
Seriously, you're excited, man.
Yeah. I don't know. You didn't think I'd watch Pretty Little Liars,
when I say this.
Like, yes.
I'm not kidding when I say this. You have like a glow in your eyes when you're talking about Pretty Little Liars.
Well, it's just started again.
So you're excited.
It's you know what it is? I think it's. Remember when we were younger and we'd see mom watching soap operas?
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
That's what you watch?
It's
so are you saying
it's so off the wall and dramatic and but it's a storyline and it's like once you start following it, you're kind of addicted to it. So it's kind of it doesn't make sense at times and it's like so surreal, but it's my guilty pleasure. I like that. I mean, I like that better than reality shows because I feel like with reality shows you're kind of you're rewarding people for like usually the ones that act the worst get the most attention and then you give them the viewership and you're rewarding that and so more people do that. So
you're trying to protest?
No, I like scripted because scripted they're a character.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. How was your week, T?
It was good. It was normal. I don't really remember. I don't have a good memory anyway, but it's been a lot. But what I'm excited for today, I have a college meeting with Royal at a school.
Ooh.
So we're gonna.
This is one of the potentials.
Well, it's with the college counselor to talk about
which
options and how he's going about doing it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm probably more excited than him, but it's just a reminder, that kids get older and he's about to start the next phase of his life. But all is good. He's doing well.
Does he know which ones he wants to go to, or is he kind of like he doesn't?
We've visited a couple.
Wait, hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
This is a very important question.
Yeah.
Are you trying to spearhead? Are you letting him kind of guide? Because I know you, and I know him. So.
Yeah. So good question. I am not really trying to spearhead as like I thought I would be the one to like control everything in a sense. And not only for his benefit, obviously not for me. I don't try to live through my kids.
Yeah, I know.
But for instance, Roy wants to be an astronomer.
Yeah.
And then but that would be one of the least things I'd pick for him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to change. Personally, I still think that's just his young imagination taking over, which is cool. But he's come to the conclusion I always told myself, actually, I wanted my boys to go to the East Coast and my girls to stay local. That was always my thought. Seriously, as
I think it's going to be flipped.
And it was you're probably right, but it was because when I didn't go to college as a youngster, but when my friends did, I would go out there and say, "There's no way I want my girls in this environment." Yeah. And for the boys, it was like a lot of fun, and it was a good experience because they're learning and seeing different cultures and different places. But Royals kind of changed that. I think Prince helped him, to be honest, by staying local. Yeah. So he wants to stay local.
Did he ever want to go?
I don't know. Well, the first time I started talking to him, his answer was like, I like what Prince did and just stayed close. Yeah. So he's kind of like a SoCal, kind of like you guys, actually, now that I'm looking at you. You guys are the same.
We started the trend.
So he wants to stay local, like his family. But it's good. He's slowly maturing and he's growing up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, all right. Well, we're going to have open phone lines today. We have a couple of topic ideas that we're going to discuss, but we're going to have open phone lines. So, real quick, one thing I want to do is, and I know this is something we would normally do at the end, but we had a tweet come in from Taj. Why don't you go ahead and give everyone the Twitter, just so we have it.
Okay. It's at DDJ Foundation.
That's it? You want to do the other ones too?
Yeah. I'm sorry. So Twitter is at DDJ Foundation. Facebook is DEE Jackson Foundation. And Instagram is at DEE Jackson Foundation. And the website is www.ddjf.org.
Very good. www.ddjf.org.
And the phone number to call in.
For the donations? Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
Oh, that's at the end.
Yeah, that's at the end.
My fault. Phone number to call in to
Why do you do it
contribute
at
to
the
the
end?
show.
Yeah, to contribute.
At the beginning.
Really? The donation? No, it may confuse people.
Yeah.
All right. So the phone number to contribute is 323-203-0815. Again, it's 323-203-0815. We're going to have open calls, open lines where you can pretty much call in and talk about whatever. Talk about what you've learned from the show, what you haven't learned, what you wish we would do more of. You could talk about an experience you had last week, yesterday, today, last year that you want to share that you think would be helpful for other listeners to hear. It's open phone lines, which means you call in and you talk about what you need to talk about. And you can also contribute to our topic. But before we get to our topic, a shout out to Jennifer Kreitz. I hope I'm saying that right. Jennifer tweeted DDJF. She tweeted that she made a really brave step. She enrolled at community counseling today, and she starts therapy next week. Oh, wow. So, and she's nervous, but we just wanted to give you a shout out, Jennifer, because it's great to hear that you're doing that. And yes, you're brave, you're courageous, and actually you're strong for doing that. I was always under the impression growing up that if you go to therapy, you're weak. But I actually think it's the other way around. If you go to therapy, you're actually strong because you're admitting something is off and something needs to be worked on. And so I just wanted to give you a nice little shout out and let you know we're here supporting you and we're with you.
I think that's a good point, TJ. I think it really it takes a strong person to get help. Mm-hmm. People think, oh, you're weak because you're getting help. And from what I've seen, and asking help is strength.
Yeah.
And because not many people can do it. Mm-hmm. And so I really commend people like that.
Mm-hmm. Commend for sure. Terrell Jackson, we're going to start with your idea of the topic.
Well, last week we were talking a little bit about sports, and we ran out of time. So there's this player, Isaiah Thomas, mm-hmm. who his sister passed away. Mm-hmm. And sorry,
was this recent or like? Was this recent? Sorry,
I love you.
Multitasking
it was within the last 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
But it's playoffs. He plays for the Boston Celtics, and his sister passed, and we were talking
the
about
night before Game 1 of the playoffs, which is the time of the season when everything matters. and he is their best player. So
he's
go
their
ahead.
best player. But we started talking about it. A lot of people were questioning, should he play? Is he going to play? And we just thought that would be a good topic. Is he required to play because it's quote unquote his job?
Yeah.
Should he be forced to play? Does he have to play? When is it the right time for him to come back to play if he chooses not to play? And then we also were talking briefly about it. Some players play, and they do very well, such as Brett Favre.
Yeah,
he played. I think it was his father, right? Passed away
father,
earlier
and
in the week.
It was a Monday night football game. Right?
Yes,
I remember that.
Yes, and he set records.
I remember that.
So we were thinking about, and it goes on beyond sports. I mean, there's obviously we do music, so it goes beyond sports. Should an artist cancel a show, or what's the right thing to do?
What's the protocol? But it's even, like you said, beyond sports and beyond music, because there's people out there that have jobs, maybe doctors that have surgeries and stuff, lawyers that have cases, things like that. So you never know when life will strike you. And then the question is, how do you respond? Have you went through something where you had to respond, or how did you handle your own situation?
And it's difficult because a lot of times if you're a dentist or a doctor or whatever it may be, they may give you a certain amount of time, a week, 2 weeks, I don't know what it is, but how do you get back into it?
How do you get back?
Is that enough time?
How do you get back into your groove?
Yeah, into your groove.
So, and what's interesting, I think everyone is different, and I think what's very important, social media will always have, Taj always says this, they always has the people that are just going to knock you and talk crap about you. So if you look on social media, I'm saying if I were Isaiah Thomas and I elected to play, I'm sure there's people that social media that would be being cruel. But I think the important thing is it's your call, and it's what makes you feel better. He may need to be with his family. He may need to be on the court playing basketball. That may be his escape, his relief, something that will help settle him in. And his first two games, they're at game 5 now, but for his first 2 games, you could tell he was quite dazed. He wasn't, understandably, he wasn't all the way there. He wasn't tuned in. No one was giving him any flack, as they shouldn't have, but it was just interesting to watch because literally the day before, his young sister at 22, I think, died in a car accident that was, obviously a shock. And he, like we've been saying, he was the leader of the team, an MVP of the whole league candidate. And the Celtics lost both games that they were supposed to win at home. And it was just one of those things that were going to end a sad incident would end a magical season. I'm happy to say that game 3 and 4 they won. So although they lost game 1 and 2, they tied the series.
And they're the number 1 seed.
And they're the number 1 seed. So now game 5, I think, is tonight.
Yeah.
When we started this topic, it wasn't to plug a basketball game on tonight. But the point is, he's back in Boston now. Game 5, he's played all 4 games, and now we're maybe 2 weeks removed from the incident, and he's starting to play like himself. Yeah. But it's just interesting to see what this whole thing has done to his healing process.
Yeah, I was looking online, and this was about, I don't know if it was a year ago or whatever, but Vanessa Hudgens, her father.
What's her name?
Hudgens.
TJ.
Hudgens.
Don't let him do that to you.
It's Hudgens.
TJ, how do you pronounce it?
It's Hudgens.
How do you do that?
Hudgens.
He's not sure.
He fell for it too. That was like,
well, because I don't know the right pronunciation.
Todd, you haven't figured it out. I try to do that to you almost once a show.
I'm trying to keep this entertaining, TJ. I don't mind.
You take it with pride, though, Todd.
Yeah.
I got to give it to you.
Someone's got to be the comic relief over here.
Okay, go ahead. So what happened to Miss Vanessa Hudgens?
Her father died of cancer literally hours before she was supposed to do Grease Live.
Oh,
so it was a live performance. She had been practicing, and her father was ill. And on Twitter, she said, "Please pray for my father. He's not doing well." And then literally he died basically like hours before, and it's a live performance.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know about Grease Live, but they do.
That's the televised.
That's a televised
wow.
one. So all those hours that people put in, and what I thought was interesting was that she tweeted right before she went on. She said, "Tonight, I do the show in his honor." And remember how I was talking about doing things in people's honor, because there's 2 ways you can look at it. You can do it to make them proud, or you can kind of. And I think she took that route. That's not always the route that, worked for other people, but she did take that route. And it was a successful show. It was a successful TV show or TV special.
Taj, I'm happy you brought that up. And for the record, it's Vanessa Hudgens.
Hudgens?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got me saying Hudgens.
You know why? Because I not confused her, but I mixed up her name with the guy from, what's it called? Hunger Games.
You lost me already, man.
How do you spell that? Hudgen?
Hudgens.
Yeah, Hudgens.
The thing is that because you guys watch a lot of sport, I don't watch sports, so I like to always throw some other curveballs in there in terms of
So, Taj, I appreciate you telling us this. So I didn't even know about it, and it was interesting. She put. So was the message? Was it a statement she made, or was it? Do you remember?
She tweeted. This is what she tweeted.
Yeah.
She said, "I am so sad to say that last night my daddy Greg passed away from stage 4 cancer. Thank you to everyone who kept him in your prayers." And that was basically. And then she said, "Tonight I do the show in his honor."
Wow.
Like that was the next tweet.
Right. And then I saw she had a tweet out. I don't know if it was before or after. It's actually an Instagram post where she put, I'm curious to know when she posted this, but it says, "I wish heaven had visiting hours." It's a really...
that's a great quote.
Yeah, I never heard that one, but that's a cool one. And, like you said, Taj, Grease Live on television where literally... tens of millions of people. You can't quit. You can't have a bigger stage and a more already nervous state because she's got to remember all the lines. This whole big production is counting on. It's like a flow. So if you mess up a line or mess up something, you affect the whole outcome. And it's live, and there's no going back. And I couldn't even imagine having to do that, hearing that kind of news. So I gained a lot, more pride and respect for her. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Well, I have a quick question.
Yes.
For the listeners, like if you were at a concert or something, like what would you expect from the artist if you found out that their sister, brother, mother, father passed away hours before? Because some people are like, well, I paid for this ticket. You better perform. Like, would you be understanding? The show was canceled.
Taj, anyone who has that mentality,
it happens though.
I know it happens. I know. I'm not saying that.
I'm foreshadowing my part of the segment. In terms of, but
it's sad. There are people out there that would disagree and feel, and it's interesting because I've heard people say and feel that the show must go on.
Yeah.
The show must go on, and she's a professional.
Yeah.
She needs to do this and that, which is understandable, and I get that side, but at the same time, we're not them. We don't walk in each other's shoes, so we have to be respectful when these kind of situations hit. We got to be incredibly respectful and open to how others are going to treat it and their actions.
Do you think that some people just don't, they don't, because they haven't experienced it themselves?
Yeah.
Like I feel like some people, the ones that do understand are the ones that have lost someone and they know what that feeling's like, so they understand it, while the ones that haven't are
I think many who understand have lost someone, but I'm not going to say most. I think even people who haven't had that significant loss can be understanding. If they come from a strong family, they could sympathize.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool, though. So that's our first topic that we're going to take calls on, and it leads into a second. We're going to take a phone call now.
Let's take a phone call now.
Let's break it up. Who do we have on the line with us?
This is Alicia.
How are you, Alicia?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. What you got for us?
Well, a few things, but on the topic of whether I would be upset that a performer left after the show or during it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Whitney Houston passed away, people were upset with Bobby Brown because he stayed and performed instead of going out to be with his daughter. And he said that he stayed because he knew that was what Whitney would want. And, you know, really at that point, there was probably nothing he could have done even if he had left. So I think that I would, you know, understand even if I did pay for that ticket. You know, he just lost somebody really close to him, but you do what you feel is necessary, just like you were talking about with Vanessa Hudgens and I can't remember who else. But yeah, I think that I would be really respectful of whatever their choice was.
Alicia, I love it. Can you do me a quick favor, Alicia, and turn down the radio computer because we are getting the feedback. But I want to thank you for that story because I didn't know that one either. And that's a tough one because it's not only affected him, but he's got to think, I guess, about his daughter, who you know, who's dealing with the loss. But you know, everyone's situation is different. We don't know what transpired before he hit the stage. Maybe his daughter said, "Daddy, I want you to do this and do it the best you can for in honor of our mom. You know, in honor of my mom." So we cannot judge, you know, and it's important, really, not only performers, athletes, we cannot judge even friends on how they respond to certain things. If they're not doing anything violent or negative towards other people, you got to give them their space and let them be them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and also, like you were talking about with the basketball player, I thought that was really commendable what he did, and I was also a little upset with Charles Barkley saying he was uncomfortable with watching him cry on TV, and it's just like, well, he did just lose his sister, but he chose to play, and that was his choice. You know, just I don't know. That just kind of upset me.
I miss that. I usually watch inside the NBA, and I'm usually a fan of all that they're doing. But I missed that one. Tara, do you know?
I did hear about that, and I saw him say it, and I didn't actually. I took it differently.
How did you take it?
A lot of people came down hard on Barkley for that, but I took it differently.
Wait, first of all, what did Barkley say?
He said because what happened was Isaiah Thomas was out doing shoot around.
Yeah.
And there was times where he would sit on the bench and he was crying, and Bradley came and put his arm around him, and
Coach Bradley. No, Bradley the player.
The player.
Yeah.
So Barkley was saying, "This makes me uncomfortable to see this," and I don't think Barkley meant it makes me uncomfortable to see him crying. I think what made him uncomfortable is for him to be put into this position of feeling that he needed to play. Okay. That's how I took it. I don't know how he meant, but I think Barkley was saying like he shouldn't have to play. He shouldn't have to, you know, he's not ready to play, or he shouldn't have to be in this position.
And Barkley felt like the pressure of the fans and the organization. Probably not the organization. Probably just the fans.
Maybe Isaiah Thomas felt like, you know, this is my team, and they felt like, you know, this is my team. We worked all year for this. I have to be there for them. Yeah. And Barkley was just saying this is how I interpret it.
Yeah.
I think he was saying it makes me uncomfortable, and whether it was right or wrong, it's a tough situation.
Yeah.
So you don't know if it's being insensitive, you know, towards the moment, but at the same time, I'm sure he was with his teammates, and like you said earlier, needs that escape. But at the same time, you never want to see someone in that position.
Right. And I usually am the person who's watching this. I usually would be chomping at the bit to contribute to this, but I miss this. I just wish if that was the case, Barkley was clear so that Alicia, and there's many more Alicias out there who interpret it a different way, because that's a very important thing, you know. And go ahead,
Well, he did respond the next day because everyone was making a story out of it, and he said, "Everybody, please stop trying to make a story out of this." I called him personally, you know. So I don't think he meant it in a cruel way or insensitive way towards them.
Alicia, real quick, how did you interpret it again? You interpret it as
I interpret it as if you know, sometimes people think that with sports you have to be so masculine and not show any emotion, and that's kind of how Charles Barkley is. It just sounded like he was being hypocritical of.
I got it.
Yeah,
I understand. That. So you interpret it as like he has to, if he's going to cry, he needs to get out and do his thing. But if he's going to choose to play, he needs to be a player.
Yeah, and I felt Barkley was saying it makes me uncomfortable. Like he shouldn't play. Like he he doesn't need to play.
So you took it, and maybe that's your experience,
Barkley,
but that's probably your experience being kind of in that entertaining shoes.
No, that's how I felt Barkley was saying it, because I watched Barkley all
but my
the time.
point is, Barkley, you've been in places where you're not stuck, but you're a performer. You're an entertainer. You're a public figure, to the point where you're understanding that mindset Barkley's coming from, where your average person who's never felt that kind of a pressure to have to perform. So if you don't know that, then maybe you can misinterpret it. So maybe that's where we're at.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Alicia, thanks for the phone call. That was a great phone call. Anything else you want? Yeah, let's hear it.
I have one more thing I need to, or I want to bring up to you. And I know the disclaimer and everything, but I was wondering, I think I've told you guys before that I recently lost my grandmother and aunt this past year. And my sister and I were talking the other day about how my mother has not really dealt with it, or she thinks my mom hasn't really dealt with it, and has kind of not really been in touch with her siblings. My sister thinks not enough, and I've told her that people grieve in different ways, and to just let my mom do that. But she said that while she agrees, I don't think that she is. I think she's trying to kind of control how my mother is doing that, handling the losses, and I was wondering what you thought of that.
So, as you've been listening and being on this journey with us, everyone grieves different. Everyone, but they have to grieve. They have to get it out. I don't know your situation well enough to give an educated guess, but what I can tell you is there's an organization that I think you should look into. I don't know exactly what they provide, but they're pretty much one of the strongest organizations in helping people like you in your situation, families that have just dealt with a death. It's called ADEC, the Association for Death Education and Counseling. It's an international professional organization, and they're dedicated to promoting excellence and recognizing diversity in death education, care of the dying, grief counseling, and a lot more. So go to www.adec.org, and I would start there, Alicia, and see if anything, I don't know if they have a toll-free number that can kind of guide you, and you can, they could probably spend a lot of time with you, and they're trained for this. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, and I would say if it's something that you would want your sister to go to, go with her, as opposed to saying you need to do this, or you should go to this. Go, say we need to do this. We need to go to this.
Your whole family's been rocked by the situation, and it's kind of like our situation. We lost our mother, and even though he wasn't even born, my son and our kids go through it. So it's one of those things where it's a family thing. Everyone's affected because it's like we're all connected by love. So I agree with Taj. It's something that all of you got to do, and you don't want your sister to feel like, or anyone to feel like they're further along, or they're understanding things better. So you got to come in very humble and very understanding of everyone's situation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome, Alicia. Thanks so much, and take care of yourself.
You too.
Thank you.
So we're going to take another phone call. Who do we have on the line?
This is Tiffany.
How are you, Tiffany?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
We are doing good.
Doing good.
You're from, wait, let me get, are you Texas?
Yes.
Yes. What part? Houston.
I'm in Beaumont.
Ah, that's close to Houston.
You ask that a lot.
I do. I told you I don't have a good memory.
It's like Groundhog's Day. We just let him do it every week.
Oh man, I told you guys I don't have a good memory, so you get to see it on display. How are you, Tiffany? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I wanted to talk about like you were saying, how you have to carry on after a loss.
Yes.
Now it's not a personal. Let me see. I don't even know how to phrase it. It happened to me, but it affected my best friend really, really, really worse than I thought it would affect her. Mm-hmm. I've mentioned before that I lost my mother in 2008 to complications with diabetes and a staph infection. So prior to that, my best friend Stacy was just like my rock. Like anytime I needed her, she would be there. She always knew when I'd go visit my mother in the ICU, as soon as I'd leave out, she'd be calling my phone. How's your mom? Is she doing better? I mean, Stacy, I don't want to take too much time, but just I need to say it because she really did everything that she could. She took off work to be with me, to come see about my mom. When she'd come visit me, if my mom needed something, she'd look up and it'd be me and Stacy. You know, you couldn't see one without the other. And I remember the morning my mother passed. It was a Wednesday morning, and Stacy was at her house. I got the bad news, and I called her, and her mother picked up, and she was still sleeping because it was like 7:30 in the morning. And, you know, I told her, and she didn't say anything. I know she was on the phone because I heard her gasp when I said, Stacy, you know, Mom's gone. And she had work that afternoon. That's one thing that I'll never forget. She worked at a department store. And she said she called me after the fact that it happened. She was like, Tiff, I was at work and I was folding clothes and I was sticking clothes away. And she said, like, all at once, it hit her that my mom was gone because, you know, she thought of my mom like her second mom. Mm-hmm. And she literally broke down in the middle of the store on the floor and had to take off and go home because she was just that bad off about it. Because, I mean, I was at home. I was bereft and trying to take care of my father. And, you know, she's having her emotional breakdown across town at the store. And, you know, she came to the funeral and everything. She was actually the first person here before we left the house to go to the church for the funeral. I mean, she did, I don't want to cry because she just did so much and she didn't have to do so much for me. But I mean, you know, she just, you know, she kind of put her feelings aside after her little breakdown and was there for me. So, but I mean, I know I could not have gone into work myself. So
that's thank you for sharing the story because it speaks volumes to what we're about. You have to be there for each other and you have to be understanding. And it's just interesting. First of all, it sounds like your mom was a special person that Stacy had that connection with her.
Oh, yeah, she was.
You know, and, you know, I don't know what else to say besides thank you for sharing it because a lot of people are going through that kind of situation. And as a friend, what do you do as a friend? You just got to be there for each other, and you got to be understanding because I may be strong today and down tomorrow, and it's the job of friends and families to kind of monitor and be that strength and that support. And it sounds like you had that, you know, so that's awesome. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany.
Oh, wait, before I hang up.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for mentioning Jennifer Kreitz is one of my friends online.
Oh, cool.
I know everybody.
That's cool.
And I wanted to say thank you because TJ, you're her favorite. She's still so scared and so nervous to call in, but I wanted to thank you for her.
Cool. And what do you want to tell Jennifer?
Thank all of you.
What do you want to tell Jennifer?
Just to be strong and know she's moving in the right direction and, you know, more power to her. And I just hope that she keeps blossoming and blossoming.
Awesome.
That's great.
We love it, Tiffany. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. So Tiffany's out in Houston, Beaumont, which is near Houston.
Oh, no.
No. But the reason why I'm saying that is because the Houston Rockets are waiting for my Spurs next round in the NBA playoffs.
So that's why you got Houston in your mind.
Yeah, so I mean,
get the Spurs in the show.
Yeah, you know, I think Tiffany's awesome, but at one point we may have to be enemies for a week or two. All right, do you guys want to take another phone call? Or you want to talk a bit?
Yeah, we can take another phone call.
One more phone call.
Yeah, one more phone call.
All right. Who do we have on the line with us?
Hi, this is Ebony.
How are you, Ebony?
Hi, I'm doing fine. How about you?
We are doing good. How's your day going?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Good. What you got for us?
Well, a couple of things. About what you were talking about, if it's okay to step down from your profession while going through family loss.
Yeah.
This is personally my opinion. I believe that a person should take time to, you know, truly grieve and deal with it because, I mean, it's not for everybody, but, you know, that's just how I feel. When my father passed, I work as a substitute teacher, and my mom is a PE teacher over at a middle school. When he passed, it was actually like the last couple of days of midwinter break, and we were supposed to return to school like the following week. We didn't go back, I think, until after a couple of weeks, because it really took us some time to, deal with losing my father and just to process it, really.
Right.
And also, Nelly. I saw him in concert a few years ago.
Okay.
It was back when I was in college. I can't remember which year, but he did do a concert here in Beaumont, but he had to postpone because his sister got a leukemia just, I think, a week or two before he was supposed to come down for the concert.
Okay.
So...
Now, and be honest, Ebony, how was everyone's reaction to it?
Well, it was kind of mixed. Some were upset, and while some were completely understandable. I understood the situation because, yeah.
What made you different than those that were upset?
What made me different?
Than those that were upset. Why did you understand? In your opinion, have you went through a loss? What do you think it was?
No, I hadn't truly went through like a big loss like that. But I know he wanted to like grieve because his sister had been a big part of his life. Mm-hmm. So,
and why do you think some people are not understanding? Why do you think some people think,
honestly, I really don't know. I mean, I'm guessing what you were saying about the professionalism, like we paid this like to see you in concert, we want to see a concert. That's one thing I can think of. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But
I have a theory.
Yes, Taj, let's hear it.
I think it's because everyone grieves differently, and certain people see other like stars out there doing it right out, like Celine. This is
Celine Dion.
Yeah, Celine Dion, courtesy of Emma. She she just tweeted us this, that when she lost her husband, she was open to share her pain with the public during the show, and everyone was understanding. Mm-hmm. So people see different people reacting different ways, and so they're like, "Well, Celine did it, and Bobby Brown did it, so why can't you perform?"
Yeah, and Vanessa Hudgens,
and
you're Nelly, you're the strong one, you're the rapper, you're supposed to be tougher.
Yeah, and they don't understand that everyone grieves differently, and everyone gets impacted different ways, or I shouldn't say overcomes, but deals with it differently. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I think you're right, Taj. I'm hoping that I think that's the message of today's show, and I'm hoping everyone understands that no matter how big or strong or how
what the image is,
whatever warrior, whatever profession they are, everyone's going to grieve different, and we as a society have to be understanding and of that situation, of that, and of the person going through that. So we have to back off and just be supportive as a community for anyone, whether it's your favorite rapper, whether it's your favorite sports star, whether it's your boss, whether it's your surgeon. You may have a dentist appointment today and get a call that the dentist can't make it because of a family emergency, and this was the only day you could do it. You gotta take yourself and your pride out of it and be understanding.
Do we judge, like, as a society, like, in terms of what is acceptable in terms of loss, and from, like, if you heard someone is not coming to work today because they lost a parent or a sister or brother, compared to they lost a best friend or something like that,
we do. I think we do as a society judge. I think if it's like a parent or an immediate family member, immediate family, for the most part, everyone's okay.
Yeah, but if it's cousins fly, that's the saddest.
I lost, my cat. I think people are like, that's sad, but they should be coming to work. But you don't see that's a good point, Taj, because you don't know what that cat or that dog
that could have been
or that goldfish meant to that person. Really, you don't know what that meant. So we have to find a way to reserve judgment and find a way to just let them be them. And in the end, it's going to help the whole society out because they're going to come out the better for it. So, Ebony, I know you're still with us. Is there anything else you had or anything else you want to say? Ebony, maybe you're not still with us. Okay.
Doesn't sound like it.
I didn't hang up on her, so maybe she hung up on us.
That was my next thing. You know, you said it before.
Hey, it was when you started talking, so you took it somewhere else.
Yeah.
I think this is an important topic. So it's cool because, we didn't know where the show would lead. We had a couple of ideas. Todd, I think we need to save your concept for another time because it's a strong one as well.
Big, yeah.
But is there anything else you guys want to add?
No, I think it's just people. We got to remember. We got to take care of each other better. We got to remember that we're human. And I think people see, stars, musicians, or athletes, and they feel, they make $12 million a year, so he needs to show up and play, or whatever it might be. Sometimes it's for their own selfish purposes that they expect them to play, but if you really think about the person and what they're going through, then you'll be understanding, but like we said earlier, some people it helps them being in front of that audience because they can get that feedback, that love, that support, while others probably just wish they didn't have to be put in that position to do it. I
love it. We're gonna take another phone call, so let's take one more. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. Who do we have on the line with us?
Hi, it's Meredith.
How you doing, Meredith?
I'm fine. I was calling it because normally I don't get serious because when I get serious, then I will break down. And I was like, okay, I'm going to call in and be serious and tell a story. The two you brought up, like people calling in for their cat dying. And don't get me wrong, I'm an animal lover, but I can't not. When I worked at Encino Hospital. A girl called in for that, and it was just odd to me. I mean, I called every single person in my family. I said, this lady called in about her cat because her cat died. But now I'm sensitive to animals. I don't want all the animal lovers to look at me bad. But
you know what, though? Meredith, this is my point, though. I think everyone grieves different. It doesn't even have to be a cat. It could be their favorite shirt. I mean, obviously, okay, maybe not your favorite shirt. All right, you get my point, though. Okay, but you understand what I'm saying? Everyone attaches to certain things differently. So as much as I want to, judge someone for what they're valuing, I think we have to figure a way to reserve it. I really do. I'll tell you what, my dog Yabo was huge for me when my mom passed. Huge, and it was like another family member in some ways stronger and more important than family members. I'm not gonna that's
because of the connection,
but you get my point. It was like a strong part of my life.
Well, it's because you don't know the relationship that person has with the animal and what you've been through and how that animal has helped you get through things
from the beginning. I mean, that was like my first child, so it's like seriously, I got Yabo at 12, 13 as a baby and had him my whole life, her whole life. So it's like that connection, and for others it's just the dog. It's just it's something that it's expendable. So we can't judge people, and especially fans. But I could tell you're an awesome person, Meredith, and I think your response and your first reaction would be similar to all of ours. But we have to keep ourselves in check and just respect it.
Have you ever had an animal, a cat or a dog?
Well, I have a bird and I have a dog, and I will admit, we had a bird, African gray, and if anyone knows those birds, they have a mind basically of a kindergartner. So the bird was in our family for years, but when the bird died, I will admit, it touched me a little bit, and I cried. I cried until my mom came home and said she took him to go get cremated. Then I had to run upstairs because I burst out laughing.
Oh, really?
I didn't throw the birds in garbage. But no, that was in my old days, all animal lovers. I don't think like that.
And what's crazy is I don't think a bird could elicit that feeling from me. I just don't think I could cry over a bird.
You never know.
I never know. I've never been
a talking bird.
Yeah, like a talk that
you had a bird that talk to you, tell you to shut up, use your name, they indicated the way you talk to your kids. Like one day my daughter was calling, but I really let me talk about what I really called for because I'm going to a whole nother story. The reason why I did call is Tiffany, that she really got to me. Like I said, I normally don't call. That's one of the reasons why I do listen to the show, because of what it's about. Last year, or actually I was going to say 2 years ago, I was working, and actually I got news. I have 6 brothers and sisters. Well, I had 6 brothers. One just passed last year. And I tell you, within 1 year, I found out one had cancer. The other one found out he had MS. One of my brothers had MS. One had cancer. My sister lost her husband. And then my mom found out she had stage 4 cancer. This all happened within like 3 months. Then last year, at the end of my year to graduate from school, I find out that my brother was passing. So here I am taking care of my mom, 2 girls, and final year of college. And my brother died the same week of finals. And so I still went and took my final exam because I had to do it, but yet I felt the responsibility, because more of it, I was so worried about my mom because she's going through chemo and how it's affecting her. So like you were saying, things do affect people a certain way. Some people would have said, well, couldn't you call your professor and reschedule it? I just didn't do it, which I probably should have, because I ended up failing a test and had to retake it. But I think you just handle things a different way. I mean, to this point, still taking care of my mom, I don't think I've actually broken down yet, because I'm trying to be strong for her, my daughters, and the rest of my brothers and sisters, since she depends on me. But it do get hard. But that's, like I said, that's why I listen to you guys, because I've never heard a show like this that deal with grief, and me actually being in, I told you I substitute, but I'm also, my field is counseling, but it's I don't know. Some of these shows you have, it's hard. And like I said, when I heard Tiffany and how she was with her mother, it just brought back exactly what I'm doing right now. And I just really wanted to thank you guys, because this is a good show for people to express their feelings, because I don't think I've ever really just said anything about the situation, because I try to hold it all in. So
I understand.
I want to thank you guys.
Well, first of all, thank you, Meredith, for listening, supporting, and contributing. The show is awesome for us, but and it's especially great when we hear listeners say what it's doing for them. But it takes the team to do it, and you guys are all part of the team. So thank you.
Well, thank you, too.
Yeah, Taj, I'm going to let you go now, Meredith, because we got to close it soon. But thank you so much, and have an amazing week, okay?
Yes.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Taj, real quick, because this is an important thing. I think a lot of people, and Terrell was opposite of you, where Terrell was, I felt, maybe not, and I feel like I'm kind of in between. You felt that way, like Meredith felt, where you have to kind of hold it all together. Have you still been in that mindset? Or do you go through your times where you try to let it go? And if so, how do you go about doing that?
Honestly, this show has been very helpful to me, because I don't talk about it. I only talk about it on the show. I don't talk about it to my friends or, to Tiana or whatever. It's just on the show I talk about it, so it's therapeutic to me. Yeah. As well as, Meredith says therapeutic to her. But it's the same, because, you feel like you have to be the rock, in a way, in terms of strong for everyone. And I haven't let go of that. It's like a slow process of letting go of that.
Do you think you ever will?
I don't know. What I'm more scared of is certain people are like, well, it's going to catch up to you. I hear that a lot. Well, you have to let it go, because it will catch up to you. But knock on wood, it hasn't so far. But I think I've slowly, by doing the show, let go.
It's like a balloon.
Deflating it.
Deflating it. Like if you don't let air out, eventually you're going to burst.
Yeah.
So it's like, whether it's the smallest hole or what, but you got to slowly let it out.
Yeah.
And you feel this show kind of helps you with that.
I think that, and just doing things in Mom's memory and doing, things to make her proud has helped me. So,
and I agree with you, because I was, I'm laughing because I oftentimes say these words when I was in the shower. I was thinking about this, but I feel like I take long showers and I think a lot. But I was thinking about how this show has helped me too. Because it's like 1 hour I dedicate, a little more, but I dedicate 1 hour a week to dealing with loss and grief and how to learn from it and how to overcome and really how to navigate it. And see, there's something I learned. But it's a great I don't think it comes natural for people want to hear about loss and talk about loss, but it's something that really helps, and us doing the show, we're not forced to, but we have this schedule that kind of forces us to be here to do it. But in the end, it's been so great for us, I think. And I'm hoping it's the same kind of thing with the listeners, where if they're tuning in week after week, which a lot of them are, they're getting that same type of benefit of learning and talking about it. It's kind of like free therapy in a sense,
Yeah.
So I think it's great, and I'm very proud of what we're doing and where we've gotten.
Yeah.
One couple more things I want to say. Number one is a quote on grief and loss that I found and that I thought was very strong. You guys know me, I'm big on quotes. This one's by Vicky Harris. It is, grief is like the ocean. Grief is like the ocean. It comes on waves, ebbing and flowing. Sometimes the water is calm, and sometimes it is overwhelming. All we can do is learn to swim. It's pretty cool, right?
I like that.
And I think it kind of ties to our topic for the day, where we don't know when it's going to hit. We don't know how it's going to hit. All we could do is swim, and we can let and support each other swim however it is they need to swim. Because that's really what it is. We're going on 20-something years, right, Terrell, since we lost Mom. And it's still something we deal with, but we're swimming, and that's all we're trying to do is help others learn that they have to swim. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to do the disclaimer since we didn't do it earlier. We are not licensed therapists. We're just ordinary people who have experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it, and we've learned from it. And that's what we try to do on the show is share our wisdom, our experiences to help you navigate it. But if you need professional help, professional guidance, please seek it. Don't just depend on us. I think that's it. Was there anything else either one of you guys wanted to say?
I had a Twitter correction. It was Toria that said the Celine Dion.
Oh, okay.
Someone retweeted it or whatever, and I said,
yeah.
No, it's just the mobile.
Oh, yes. So, and then if you liked what you heard, you can obviously visit us at www.ddjf.org, or you could text the letters DDJF to 41444 and help us by donating. It could be as little as $1. Literally $1, $5, whatever you can do. You can set it up as a one-time thing or as recurring, where you're donating $1 a month. Anything helps us continue this process and continue providing this show. So that's pretty much it, people. We just wanted to thank you. We hope it was a great show. We hope you learned something, and I guess we will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Perfect.
Right?
All right.
All right, cool. Take care, you guys. Thank you for listening to The Power of Love. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Support for our Power of Love radio show comes from a variety of generous donors, including supporters from institutions, individuals, and corporations through the D.D. Jackson Foundation. DDJF is a nonprofit 501c3 organization.